Hey, what is going on, everybody? Boilon here, back for another video on Raid Shadow Legends. And in today's video, also happy Thursday. We have a couple events that are kickstarting today. We have the Champion Training event, which, no surprises there. If you should know how to do this by now. Use your brews efficiently and make sure you get that done. Because this is going to be worth a decent amount of points that you're going to want to have to do. If I'm not mistaken, just by looking at the calendar, it is going to be worth 120 Titan points is what I meant to say. But the thing that we're talking about in today's video is going to be related to the Fire Knight tournament that's going to be starting later on today, or maybe by the time you've watched this video, it's already started. And this is going to be worth 60 points. Now, if you're chasing the 5 red Empress, not necessarily, but most likely you might be engaging in this event. And it is a special event requiring you to use the faction of your choice, just like Ice Golem, in order to get Fire Knight done. Now, the good thing is that, you can do whatever you're most comfortable with in terms of stage difficulty, but the lower the stage, the more energy you're going to have to spend for this. And just like other tournaments for dungeons, stage 20 is kind of the goal when it comes to clearing that. But if you can't do that, no worries, you just might have to spend more energy in order to accomplish this. Now, in today's video, we're going to be breaking down the big tips of how to build a Fire Knight team. Now, unfortunately, because it's faction locked, you might not have a lot of options, but I want to start with what characters are going to help you, and if you have that, that can kind of help you build onto something else. Now, before we get started with the rest of the video, I do want to remind people that if you haven't started playing Raid yet, what are you waiting for? Download using the QR code in the top right hand of the screen to get Tholan Falbeard absolutely free, and Stag Knight and Allure. And we have this guy who I'm going to be talking about, Farrakhan the Fat, at accounts level 10, 20, and 30. And don't forget that you can get the brand new legendary promo code for this guy, Grand Oak Padrag. And all you got to do, plug in the promo code WRATH within the first 48 hours of a brand new account. Promo code WRATH. Okay, so where am I going to start off when it comes to building a Fire Knight team? Well, like I said with Farrakhan the Fat in my promo link, the thing that you should do, go into other effects on your roster filter, champion filters, positive effects, ally attack. Also, just in case, Master Vault, Reserve Vault. So you can see all the characters that you have at your disposal. And these are characters that have ally assists in their kit. Now, this might not be the full-blown ally assist that you're looking for, but interestingly, the ones that kind of obviously make a pretty big impact is going to be Farrakhan the Fat, who we talked about because of his kit, because of his team beatdown, his A3 attack that draws in everyone else to attack. He is of the Barbarian faction, though, so that's really important to note. Other characters that are a bit easier to get is Morag Bronzelock from the Dwarf faction. Now, it's not a full-blown everyone draw in, but it is 2 random ally attacks, and if you have the right dwarfs, in this case, because we're having to do faction-based content, then this can help you significantly. Now, for me, I'm lucky. It's going to be a little bit easy for me because I have Admiral Blacktusk, who is the faction Unity champion for dwarves, and he does do a full team-up ally attack as well, and I only need to do this one time to break the shield, and then from there I can use characters that decrease turn meter. So unlike Fire Knight hard mode, it's a lot easier you can speed down Fire Knight, you can reduce his turn meter as well, so it's a lot easier to do that with regular Fire Knight. Also, at stage 20 anyways, there's 10 shield charges, so that's important to note. There are some other characters, like if you're really lucky indoors, right, this is what I have anyways, Oskrin the Defiler, right, he does have a, this is here, right, the team-up ally attack, so I could really just use both of them and just crack it out, but anyways, he'll be the Rhyme Call. I guess hers is with Tormund. So it filters characters that might have like specific ally attacks, just like the turtles, right? Cardial of Sacred Order. He has Void though. Senna does, but you have to revive someone, so it's not really fair there. But the obvious other free-to-play one is going to be Lady Mikage. So I know it's not new player friendly, and I don't think that this event particularly is new player friendly. I'll just put that out there from the beginning, because if you don't have a decent range of characters to kind of do this, then, it's going to be a bit tricky for you, right? So if you have Lady Mikage, then you might want to build a team around the Shadowkin faction. Now, I do want to break down some other characters that are more free to play that can make this a little bit easier, especially in the Dark Elf faction, right? So if you're the ones who started with Kale, Kale's actually still pretty good on Fire Knight because of this A3, and if you save it for that, if you've built up Kale a little bit, this can help you a lot because it's a 4-hit attack. So you don't necessarily need a team-up character in order to be able to beat Fire Knight, but it does definitely help. So for Kale, for example, he's got that 4-hit attack. And another really amazing, honestly, super amazing for this is Coldheart. Coldheart is a 4-hit attack champion. And at stage 20 of Fire Knight, there's only 10 shield charges, which makes it very easy to get around. And if you have some speed up characters, this can help you significantly. Also, if you have 2 Coldhearts, well, that shield's coming down very fast. I've actually really thought about building up a second Coldheart for this reason. Also, Coldheart has this A3, cooldown of 4 at maxed out, but it will decrease turn meter by 100%. So if the shield is down from Fire Knight, then you can use this and it obliterates the turn meter completely. So and it does actually pretty good damage as well. So really good champion. And those two together, honestly, if you have Coldheart and Kale, can help you pretty significantly on this. As far as other characters in the Dark Elf faction, if that's something that you decide to go with, I'll be honest, their epic selection is not super amazing. If you happen to have the Avoid Epic Lua, this helps because of, I believe it's this, the AoE 3-hit attack, and also she has another ability that, just like Coldheart, does 100% turn meter reduction, but the shield has to be down first for that to happen, so they could alternate doing that. Some of the other characters, like I love Durandal as a nuker, but he's only a 2-hit attacker, so, good damage, really good damage, but as far as taking it down, not so great. Was it Therask? Therask? Yeah, she has a 2-hit and a 3-hit, so not too bad there. And of course, some support champions that you would be wanting to use. I mean, depends on your progress, right? There's a lot of like the freebie champions. Lydia is a freebie champion from Faction Crypts, right? So you might have her. She's mostly for her debuffs. I wouldn't say that her attacks, it's only like a 2-hit here on her A3, but she does do defense down and speed up on your team and also strengthen if you do happen to get hit still. The Thrala, obviously free to play. She has a 2-hit random attack, but she gets a lot of great buffs, and she can help keep you alive and all that stuff if Fire Knight happens to get a turn. Also, some recent supports, right? So if you happen to have done the fusion events, this can be very helpful for you. Now, Xenomorph, unfortunately, is a 1-hit on his A1, 2 hits on his A3. Not super great here, but Mavara, right? So this is going to be some amazing support for you to do that, right? She has a lot of great buffs. And, this is someone who's going to keep your character alive as well. So Mavara would be a great support champion. Also, Noldua is here, but I don't think she's multi-hit, right? I think it's just one attack, if I'm not mistaken, right? So I don't think that's not really an amazing deal here, right? So I'm not sure if you'd be using Noldua necessarily for that, but yeah, just some characters that you might want to think about. And also Vizix, I guess, is free as well. So she has a 2-hit on her A1, but she does have slow, decreased speed, and also some pretty decent, if you can get that shield down from Fire Knight and also put a speed down, it's great. Now I want to talk about Barbarian factions really quickly, because this might be tricky for some people, even if you have Farrakhan the Fat, because you're probably wondering what other Barbarian characters are of any use. Not a lot. It is not very good in this category. I will gladly admit that some characters that I have used in the epic attack category probably aren't characters that have multi-hits that you might not even have upgraded. In the legendary category, well, you can also use your Carl. Your Carl the Scourge is a really good barbarian champion, namely because he also steals 100% turn meter, but he also does a speed down debuff when he does this. So he has a 2-hit A1. It could be better, but if you get the shield down, then his A2 is going to help significantly as well. Also, some other characters just more generally in the barbarian faction. High Katoon is obviously a 30-day login free champion as well that has speed up. It's a 2-hit. It's not actually, but it has this speed down as well, but it's the turn meter speed up. This is going to help your characters get more turns around anyways for this, so this might help you there. So High Katoon and Farrakhan combined can maybe do some stuff for you, but you might need some leverage by at least 1 or 2 good legendary characters. Still, the Drakes is free, but she's like a 1-hit attack. She's a 2-hit A2, but it's not super amazing either. And then Operdine. He's a great support champion if you need it as well. Yeah, so I mean, it's tough, right? It's not easy in terms of that. And if we look at Shadowkin, because that's for Lady Mikage, if you're there, then there are some pretty decent ones here. We have Michinaki, who is a pretty nice character there. There's a lot of actually, like, I want to look at the more kind of recently available characters. Unfortunately, Yukimasa, it's like a 1-hit. Yeah, they're all 1-hit attacks, I think, so it's not super great there. In the epics category, though, there are some pretty decent characters in general. We have Henshi here from an epic 3-hit A1, which isn't bad there, but I don't have him actually personally leveled up. Some other characters also there would be including Hotatsu, but again, he's in the 1-hit attack. He's mostly for his support capabilities, and same with Taragi. Like, he's also only a one hitter, but he does have some pretty good support capabilities as well by keeping your characters alive. But yeah, it's easy enough for me to just say, go collect the characters that I have. I actually think from a free to play perspective, Dark Elves might be the easiest one because I was thinking about some of the other characters. Unless you've been collecting your Argonites, right? If you've been doing very well, I heard that, and I haven't used this because I don't use them in Fire Knight, but I heard that Magma Shield actually will tick over and do damage to the Fire Knight shield when you get attacked overall. And so this might help you a lot, but only if you have some other characters to leverage in this regard. So Pelops can really help you if you're doing an Argonites team. If you happen to have characters like Cassandra or Pelos, this can help this can help you quite significantly because Cassandra is going to take down that shield, right? It's really a 3-hit attack, attacks one enemy 6 times if she has 50% or less HP, so this could be pretty brutal as well. Also, she reduces turn meter, which is pretty significant as well. So that's something that I want to point out. But then you would need to use some of these kind of like epics or maybe rares, like Slither is actually, or Acolyte of the Slither is not bad because he's like basically the Argonite's version of the rare from High Elves called Apothecary because he's got a speed buff and turn meter fill. So this can be very helpful on Fire Knight as well if you have them or if you want to build them. He also has a speed debuff as well. Unfortunately, it's only 15%. Still not terrible, so that's good. And he also has a decreased turn meter on a 3-hit A1. So, I mean, honestly, this guy is like basically the Apothecary from High Elves. And so him combined with some of the other characters, I mean, Thisbe is pretty good as well. I don't think she's multi-hit, but she has some good debuffs in here, which probably are not necessary for Fire Knight, but there's the turn meter of 20%. Galate, I don't remember if we got 2-hit on Tidemaster, Dexicos, some good buffs as well, right? It's not bad. And then Galatea, what does she do? 1 hit. Does she do multi-hits? No, not really. So, I don't know. Like, Slither, Acolyte of the Slither, Thisbe, Dexicos, Cassandra, Pelops. Pelops, if you did the fusion right, you should have him as well. So there's some characters here that you could make a Argonite's faction work. But I just want to kind of run a copy of Fire Knight's Castle 20 and just show you how this just generally runs. I know people are not, I'm not telling you to build this team. This is just what I happen to use, right? These are I'm stacked in my dwarf faction. Particularly, I have Admiral Black Tusk, and I also have that other guy, Oskrin, who I'm not really using in this particular team. But I just want to show you how this goes, because if you are running stage 20, keep in mind that it is force affinity. This might matter for some characters depending on what you're using. Now, don't forget that you can run this at a lower level as well, and that's still fine. If I'm not mistaken, I forget. There's another stage somewhere in I want to say it's like 15 or 16, where the Fire Knight shield is only at 7 charges instead of 10, so this could make it significantly easier. And again, if you're going the Dwarfs faction route, then you could also use Morag Bronzelock. While she only brings in 2 other people to assist, I believe she brings herself into assist, which is a 2-hit attack as well. So I just have this set up in the AI to make sure that my characters save all their cooldowns for the particular boss fight. So we're going to be going into Fire Knight here. He does have 10, and if you have a decent amount of speed, you can get ahead of him. So this is what I do here, right? We can just start up our things. We're doing a 2-hit with Tholin, brings it down to 8, and then we have Admiral Black Tusk, and then this ally assist just drops it, right? Brings us down to 0, and basically my turn bar character that kind of keeps him at bay is going to be my Newt, mostly doing A1s, right? Obviously, he's in a Relentless set, so this is going to make it a little bit easier, right? We didn't get that defense down before he did the Blessed Bash, but he's getting a lot of triggers there on the Relentless. So that's always nice to have there as well. Tholin doing some decent damage here, and then Granite's going to be doing, I thought he would have been doing his A2 for the defense down, but I guess not. And then we have some extra turns here on the turn bar. You can see his turn bar just keeps ticking down. Now, if you are doing the Dark Elf scenario, right, you would be using Cold Hearts to keeping the Fire Knight's turn meter at bay using that method as well. So overall, again, if you can't run stage 20, that's perfectly okay as well. I think that I want to double check. I should have done this in advance. I want to say there's somewhere around here, right? And I just want to double check on stage 16. If that's the case, in terms of where there's a threshold, right, where the charges for Fire Knight actually changes. Okay, so I went and actually tried to do some lower level Fire Knight, and I realized that even as far back as stage 10, that he still has a charge of 10 on his shield. So, you know, obviously do the Fire Knight stage that is more appropriate to the difficulty for you. You know, if you find that his hit points is too high or he's doing too much damage. Anything from stage 10 through 20, though, apparently still has the 10 charges. I really thought that he actually had, like, lower charges, like, not that low, but you really don't want to dip below stage 10, honestly, because at least stage 10 is going to give you that 4 to 5 star drop. And then after that, stage 13 will give you the 4 to 6 star drop, albeit a little bit rarer. And unfortunately, it's not until stage 20 where that 4 star is completely ripped out. So do the best that you can if this is something that you need to do. Most likely, this is only going to be for people who are chasing the 5 red star Empress. If you are chasing the 3 red, you know, either you're almost there or you've already done it, right? It's only 600 points for that. So you don't need to do, you only need to do a third of the total events in order to get the 3 red. Although if you are going for the fusion token, of course, that you might be considering this as well, because you would need to get 1,000 out of 1,750 points. But if you engaged in some on the hero's path, and if you plan to do some tomorrow on the champion's chase, then this might not be such a big deal for you as well. There is going to be quite a bit of points up for grabs on tomorrow's champion chase. If I'm not mistaken, I think it's isn't it 300? I just wanted to double check on that champion chase. It is 300 available in the champion chase tomorrow, which is going to have a 2x ancient shard drops. We'll be talking about that and also doing some pulls tomorrow as well for that. So before we go, I do want to remind people, if you haven't started playing Raid yet, what are you waiting for? Download using the QR code in the top right hand of the screen to get Tholen Falbeard absolutely free. And then also these amazing free champs, Stagnite, Allure, and Farrakhan the Fat. P.S. I forgot to mention, Allure is a very good multi-hitter attack champion as well for Fire Knight if you need it. She's really great there, actually. I should have mentioned her. Oh my god. And then, of course, don't forget, this Grand Oak Padrag legendary champion, and all you got to do is use the promo code WRATH within the first 48 hours of a brand new account. That's promo code WRATH. Okay, have a great day, everyone, and I'll see you all in the next one. And if you like this video, make sure you hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and you'll be greatly helping out the channel. Have a great day, and I'll see you guys on the next one.